Hi there, you're right. It's Tommy Allen here, and today I just wanted to do a follow-up video for what it sounds like in a dumbbell, but changing the number of rays. Okay, so in our last video, okay, we changed the number of rays according to the receiver size. So we've got this equation here that tells us, okay, so the smaller our receiver, the more number of rays. But if we use this equation, we get the kind of accurate auralization. And in that video, I experimented with it, and it didn't make a huge difference. So the equation worked. So that's good. So the problem I was kind of then thinking and I was faced about was the volume of the dumbbell. So we've got this really strange volume. You've got this huge volume here, then we've got a tube, and then another huge volume. At what point do we decide how big the volume is? Because we kind of don't include, when we're measuring room acoustics, just because we got a tiny keyhole that leaks into the next room, we don't include that. But this tube is acting a bit like a keyhole to another room. And do we decide to take the volume as just this space? Do we take it as the full space? Or do we just take it as this in the tube? It was kind of hard to decide, and I haven't found anything that tells me how to do that yet. So I thought I'd run my own little kind of mathematical experiment. Quite luckily, the equation's really easy. It's just a straight up function of volume. So if we half the volume, we're gonna half the number of rays. Okay, so we're going to actually neglect this equation for today. The original number of rays was 12,000. Okay, for our large receiver, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to half it, half it, half it, half it again, and we're going to see the difference. So we're going to see at what point does the impulse response, the realism of the dumbbell, or the realism of the impulse response, start to deteriorate as we cancel the number of rays. So the first little experiment is just to half the volume and see, do we need that much volume with this big room tube, big room? Could we just say it's just a big room and all the rest of the sound escapes down the tube and we can forget about it? And then the next part is just a bit of fun, and we're just going to keep halving the rays. I think we go down to 16 rays, which is absolutely minimal, and just see the effect that has on the resolution of the impulse response. So what I've done is I've just pulled it up into Ableton. Here we go. So let's hear our original sound. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. I got a nice little compressor, so I sound good. Okay, so here we go. So this is our original. You're going to hear what I've just said coming through as well. So I'm going to let it just die out a bit. So that's our original. We knew what that was going to sound like, and it sounds great. Okay, so let's try. We're going to go down to 6,000 rays now. So this is, imagine, we've just cut the dumbbell straight in half, and let's see the difference. In this one, you could hear those late reflections, the bam, bam, bam. And this one, let's try and see if it makes a difference. Bam! So that one still sounds pretty good. Like, for me, that, if we're going for like gaming acoustics, that's fine. To me, we still get that kind of really reverberant high-end space. And then we also hear the reflections. So let's try, we go down to 3,000 rays. So this is a quarter of the volume now. So now you can kind of hear, you can hear the reflection coming back, but they sound a bit more electronic. So it's not a, it's getting more and more unrealistic, which is a, it sounds more electronic than realistic. Let's half it again to the like eighth of the volume. Yeah, again, the kind of the coming back is it's still alright. Let's half it one more time. We'll do a little quick comparison. So this is 16th of the volume. This is where it should probably start to break up. So comparing it to our original, like a lot of it's those later reflections that are coming from down the tube, they're kind of melted away by all the other stuff that's going on and the number of rays, which is more realistic. But down here, it starts to get more electronic. So now we're going to get silly and do just 750 rays. Yeah, it's not sounding, it's more electronic, like, it doesn't sound, to me realistic at all. But then again, who am I to judge what it sounds like in a massive dumbbell? I am a dumbbell. So, let's see, 3, 2, 5. This is my first time running through these. That actually sounds horrible. And then we'll go down to, that's 3, 2, 5 again. Let's go to 1, 2, 8. So that doesn't sound real at all, but it sounds awesome. Like, that's such a cool effect. That sounded terrible, like it was trying to be realistic. This sounds like it's just, we're not even in a space. It sounds a bit like kind of a bit like a horror movie, like kind of these kind of weird echoes that are coming through like unnaturally. Then we go down to 64 rays. That sounds really cool, but nothing like what we had up here. That actually sounds like we're inside like a huge tube system, which is really cool. And then we kind of got stupid and we went down to 32. That sounds terrible. And then the last one, 16. Is it 16 it says there? Yeah. That sounds awesome. So, as you can see, you can kind of see the direct reflections, and because of the symmetry, like we're kind of getting these really rhythmic, which sounds awesome, but that wouldn't happen in real life. So that sounds really cool, and those will be up in here, but it's then obviously kind of just shrouded by all the other rays and the diffusion that's going on. But this sounds pretty good. Oh, I love maths. This is so goddamn cool. So yeah, that's just comparing the race size or changing the volume. So let's try and bring this round into something decent. I reckon um, I didn't need to use such a big volume. Okay, I used the big volume, so both sides of the dumbbell and the tube in the original calculation, just to be safe. Okay, because the more raise, then it doesn't really matter. Okay, more raise, more better, just more computing power. Because as we moved down, it wasn't that bad, but the realism started to break up. I think, you know, after about a quarter. And then, but I think we were still getting away with it because it still sounds all right. But as soon as we kind of get down to an eighth, which is, that's definitely not the volume size we're in, it starts getting a bit more electronic. And as we just kind of start taking the Mickey going down, we get we get stuff like this. Sounds almost like a Mexican wave of depths. Yeah, that's that's what acousticians do when they go into rooms. They just go in, clap, and then go dap. They don't, but that's what I do. Yeah, let's hear that last one again because it sounds well good. Where is it? Literally sounds like a horror movie. Hold on. What I'm going to do, I'm going to plug my guitar in. Just because, well, this sounds epic. Obviously, I'm just filming me doing the first time doing this as a quick little follow video. There we go. Right, so I've just tuned in. Let's see what this the guitar sounds like with this mad horror reverb. Okay. I'm going to change the sound. Yeah. It sounds pretty weird. So yeah, that is just a quick, just kind of, experiment with the number of rays and the volume. I would like to find something that kind of describes the situation where we've got these three joining weird volumes. But for safety's sake, I'm just going to take the entire volume every time and run my computer. Because it's just time. You fall asleep and it works. So I hope you enjoyed that. That was just a nice little comparison of different types of reverbs and what they can do and change the number of rays. Yeah, so, it has a huge impact to the calculation. Like this one with 12,000 rays, and this calculates super quick, in like a minute. But then the more defined, the more reflections, the more you got to run your computer. This takes, like an hour, 2 hours with a fairly decent gaming laptop from 2020. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you in the next one. Maybe I'm going to do a couple more experiments to prove what I'm doing is kind of right and little tests because it's well interesting. Yeah, so that's Tommy Allen out, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.